When you do a search on Google on how to get Microsoft Excel, the results returned show a pretty hefty price tag. But is buying Excel the only choice you have today? In this video, I will show you how to get Microsoft Excel for free.
Hi there, this is Vadim Michalenko, and in this quick video, I would like to share with you how you can get Microsoft Excel at no cost to you.
Typical process of getting Microsoft Excel involves downloading the application or getting it on DVD, installing it, entering license key, then maintaining it through patches and updates, and then repeating when new version comes out. Recently, Microsoft introduced new way of accessing Excel's functionality, which is absolutely free and doesn't require half of these steps for you to take advantage of the application.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Vadim Michalenko, and I have MBA and master's degree in computer science. Most of my career, I worked as a consultant, helping companies implement solutions. I learned a lot of technologies throughout my career, but more importantly, I developed a methodology how to learn new skills, which I would like to share with you as part of my videos. I also work as an educator in a community college, helping people to learn technology and find jobs. I started online training for everyone to share the knowledge and help people to reach their goals faster. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Skills that you learn here will be helpful for you now and also in the future.
So going back to our original question, how can you access Microsoft Excel for free? And the answer is, there is a free version of Excel for the browser, which is part of Office.com suite of applications from Microsoft. You get access to majority of functionality of the desktop-based Excel application, but there are some differences, which we are going to cover in this video. I will also show you how to log in and access Office.com, do a quick tutorial of Excel Online application, and also show you how to do file management using Microsoft's OneDrive, which is also part of the Office.com suite and will help you manage your Microsoft Excel files in the cloud. Let's start by looking at the differences between desktop version of Excel and Excel Online, which is part of Office.com suite. Let's look at how Office.com is different from the typical Office on the desktop. You see the desktop here on the picture, and Office installed as an application on the desktop. All documents are stored locally on the desktop. The desktop depicted here could be either desktop, laptop, or tablet, and it could run either Windows or Mac OS. When you use Office.com, you need to have a computer that has internet connection. Office is installed in the cloud on the website Office.com, and documents are stored in the OneDrive, which is also in the cloud. You do need internet connection in this setup, but the huge advantage of this is that it's free. Another huge advantage of this setup is that because documents are in the cloud, multiple people can work on those documents at the same time.
Let me give you a couple reasons why you might consider subscribing to online training for everyone.
State-of-the-art skills, tips, tricks, and techniques we share with you here on online training for everyone will help you today and in the future. We use scientifically proven methodology to create videos that will help you learn faster and retain more materials. When you click the subscribe button now, you will become connected and will be the first one to receive automatic notifications when new video is released.
And now, let me do a quick walkthrough of the Office.com applications with you so you feel comfortable using them.
First step, you need to navigate to Office.com and sign in. You can sign in with your existing Microsoft account, or you can create a new account. I am going to sign in with my existing account, and then we will continue. On the front page of Office.com, you see all Office.com applications that are available. Most frequently used applications show right here on the screen. You can also click All Apps icon to see additional application that's not available right away. In addition to typical Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and OneNote, you also see Calendar, Forms, OneDrive, Outlook, People, Power Automate, Skype, Sway, To Do, and some other applications. Typical browser navigation works, so at any time you can go back and you will see the home screen again. When you are not on the home screen, but you need to launch specific application, you can always use App Launcher. It's located in the upper left corner. When you click on the App Launcher, it shows all available applications, and you can also click All App to expand the menu selection. Here on the screen, you can see documents that you worked on recently. You can also see pinned documents and you can see documents that have been shared with you. You can also upload and open any document from your desktop, and you can navigate to OneDrive account, which comes automatically with Office.com. To create a new document, you can either click Start New button, which shows all available options for new documents, or you can click on the application itself, and it will create a blank document, or you can choose document available for this particular application from the template.
Please make sure to check out available downloads in the description section of this video. Excel for the web interface is very similar to traditional desktop interface, and you have a lot of options to customize it for your needs.
There are multiple ways how you can create new Excel Online document. The easiest way is to click on the Start New and then select Spreadsheet. Another way to do it would be click on Excel application, and this will launch new instance of Excel and you'll be able to create the new worksheet. Here you can select different templates. You can click More Templates to see a lot of available choices. Templates allow you to start with pre-built design and functionality instead of building it from scratch in Office Online. For example, you can use template for simple invoice, Gantt project chart, make a list, schedule, personal inventory, family budget, and there are a lot of other options. If you click Explore All Templates, it will show you all available options. But I'm going to go back and continue with the blank workbook. I'm going to click Back button in my browser and go back to the Start screen and use the first method. I'm going to click Start New, and we'll create a new spreadsheet. As you can see, Excel Online looks very similar to traditional Excel application on the desktop. By default, it launches with simplified ribbon. To switch to traditional ribbon, you just need to click this toggle, and it switches to traditional ribbon. I am going to continue with traditional ribbon because that's the ribbon I used to, but we will cover also a simplified ribbon as well, just so you will have an idea of what type of commands you can expect from simplified ribbon. Excel Online consists of multiple tabs. For example, most of the commands are located on the Home tab, and this is where you will spend probably 80% of your time. But there are a lot of other tabs like Insert, Formulas, Data, and you can switch between the tabs by clicking on the tab bar. Each icon in the ribbon represents specific command in Excel Online, and these commands are grouped into groups. So for example, there is a font group, alignment group, number group, tables, cells, and editing. In the bottom right corner, you see zooming functions. If you click plus button, you can zoom in. If you click minus button, then you will zoom out. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see cells a little bit closer before we start typing. But last thing before we start typing, I wanted to show you in the bottom left corner, you can check the workbook statistics. If you click on the workbook statistics, you see information about the current worksheet. So what are the biggest differences between Excel Desktop and Excel Online applications? Sometimes fonts might be displayed differently. If Workbook uses a specific font that is not available on your device, then another font might be substituted when a workbook is displayed in the browser. Some functions also might behave differently in the browser than they do in Microsoft Excel. On the desktop, you need to click your Save button periodically, as you're always afraid of losing the data. In the browser, everything is saved automatically. There is an important difference for undo and redo functionality. It is not much different when a single person edits the file. But if Workbook is edited by more than one person at a time, the undo and redo commands are not available in the browser. And last but not least is that workbooks that are protected and encrypted with the password protection cannot be viewed in the browser window. Let's look at some fundamental Excel Online concepts. You have concept of columns. We have columns A, B, C, D, and you can select them by clicking on the header, and it goes until the end of English alphabet, and then it starts AA, AB, and it goes into infinity. Then you have concept of rows, and rows represented by numbers. And on the intersection of each column and row, you have a cell. And the cell ID is located right here in the name box. So for example, this is cell B4 because it's located on the intersection of column B and row 4. We also have a concept of range, and range is a group of cells. For example, we can select some cells, and the range would be from the starting cell in the upper left corner into the lower right corner cell. So in this particular case, the range identification would be B2 through C7. That would be our range. We also have a concept of workbook and worksheets. Workbook is Excel online document. So book that is named right now is the name of the workbook. And we can rename it by clicking here and typing. I typed Excel Online tutorial. There's no need to click Save button because Office Online and any application in Office.com and Office Online saves data automatically onto OneDrive. So at every point of time, at any moment of time, your data is saved and protected. Now we covered the concept of workbook. There's a concept of worksheet, and there are multiple worksheets in one workbook. By default, only one worksheet is created, which is called Sheet 1. You can click on it and rename it, or you can add more worksheets. If you click the plus button here in the bottom left corner, it keeps adding more and more worksheets. I'm going to go back to worksheet 1 so we can start data entry. To start entering the data in Excel Online, you can just select the cell and start typing. For example, I would like to create a table and enter business expenses. I just need to start typing and I'll type expenses. To navigate between the columns, you can press Tab and it will take you from column A to column B, and you can start typing. For example, I'll type January. If you would like to go back, you just need to press Shift Tab. You can always use the mouse to put the cursor into the correct cell, but using the keyboard is much faster, and if you learn how to use keyboard, you will be much more productive in Excel Online. So we covered how to go from column to column, and this is by using Tab and Shift Tab. In order for us to go to a different row, you just hit Enter, and then it took us to the cell A2, and this is where I'm going to enter the type of expenses. In my case, I'm going to have lease is one of the expenses. I'm going to hit Enter again, and I'm going to type utilities. And as you might have figured out by now, if I'd like to go down, I would need to type Enter, but if I would like to go up, I would just need to hit Shift Enter. I have manually typed in all my data, and this is how it looks. We have rows representing the types of expenses, and we have office supplies, lease, utilities, phone, computer, and internet. And then I have months from January to June, and each month, on the intersection of months and expenses, we have a number which represents expenses for that particular month.
I have a question for you. Do you have a better way of solving the challenge that was presented in this video? Could you please share your thoughts in the comments section of this video?
Let's zoom in the data using zoom functions that we covered, so we can see it up close and we can see it full screen, and then we'll focus on the formatting of the table. There are multiple different things you can do to make this data look professional. For example, you can select the range of the data, and you can add borders to the data. The most typical borders would be all borders, which will have borders for the data on all sides of the cell. You might also notice that the month and the dollar amounts are misaligned. Months data is aligned to the left versus dollar data is aligned to the right. To change this, you need to select all these columns from B through G, and then what you can do, you can change the alignment for all the selected data. For example, this is how centered alignment will look like. If you want to try alignment on the left, I don't think it looks professional. So I think centered alignment would be the best for this type of data. You might also consider highlighting the first row, which is the header row. To do that, we need to select the range between cells A1 and G1, and then we can add a background color, for example, some light color, which would look nice on the black and white printout, and you can also make the font here bold. Since Excel Online is designed as a tool for data analysis, you can quickly sort and filter the data. To do that, you need to select the first row, and then click Sort and Filter, and click Filter. You see what happened? Excel just added the drop-downs, and now you have a lot of sorting and filtering options. For example, if you would like to organize expenses and make expense types in alphabetical orders, all you need to do is to select the drop-down box here and select Sort Ascending. And you see that it organized the expenses and put the types of expenses in alphabetical order, from letter C to letter U. A lot of times you might consider showing the totals when you're looking at the data. For example, you would like to know how much money was spent in expenses in the month of January. To do that, you need to put a cursor into the cell B8, and then there is an AutoSum formula that you can use. You just click on the AutoSum, and Excel auto-guesses or provides auto-suggestion, and it automatically inserts the formula, which is the sum of all the values in the range B2 through B7. And you see this is how Excel represents the ranges. To refresh your memory, the range is the set of values which starts with the top cell, which in our case is B2, and goes from B2 to the cell B7. If you hit enter, it shows you the total for the month of January, which represents an amount of $2,180.08. Now you can do the same thing for each and every month. For example, for months of February, you can navigate to the cell C8 and repeat the steps of what I just did previously through AutoSum. Or you can replicate the formula for all the columns which represent the months. To do that, you just need to find this box at the bottom right corner of the cell B8, and then you just need to drag it, and Excel replicated the formula and recalculated the values for the months from January through June. All you need to do now is just to type total here in this column, and you probably might want to choose the right alignment here so it is more aligned to the total numbers. In a similar way to calculating totals for the columns, you can also calculate totals for the rows. For example, you might want to know how much of the computer expenses company had between the months of January and June. To recalculate this, you need to put the cursor into the cell H2. Let's enter formula differently. We will just type it manually. To do that, we need to type the equal sign, and then we can type the sum formula, and you see what Excel Online does automatically. It shows you all available formulas that match the criteria of sum, but as soon as I enter the parentheses to start typing values, I can either drag the cursor here, which will enter the range here, and our range will be from B2 through G2, and I just need to close the parentheses and hit enter, and Excel will calculate the value. If you see pound signs in a cell, it doesn't represent the error, it just means that the value is too big for Excel to show. To fix it, you can either manually expand the column, or you can just double click on this area in between two columns. In my case, it's between columns H and I, and Excel will automatically adjust the width of the column. I showed you a way to replicate the formula through this extension box. Another way to replicate the formula would be through the use of copy and paste functions. To do that, you just need to use Control-C on the keyboard. I just typed Control-C. Another way to do it would be click copy right here on the ribbon, and then you can just select a new range, and then you can just click paste here on the ribbon, and Excel will recalculate because it inserted this formula, and it will recalculate all the values for different expense categories in column H. The only other thing we would need to add is the title for this column. So we can just type total, and similar to the way how we formatted other columns, we can format column H. We just need to select the column and click center formatting. To print Excel Online document, you need to click File and then Print. And when you click Print button, it allows you to select from multiple different options. You can print active sheet, you can print entire workbook, or you can just print the current selection. And you can choose from different page orientation options for portrait and landscape. I'm going to choose active sheet. I'm going to choose landscape option, and I'm going to click continue. And what Excel will let me do, it will let me print right from the browser, and I can print into the PDF file, and once data is printed, I'll be able to use it in my PDF file.
When we were just starting our mission, we wanted to pick the name that would best describe our values. And this is the main reason why we picked howtoanalyzedata.net, because the core of our mission is covering questions how and why in every video that we make. Make sure you consider this when you're making your own decision whether to subscribe to the channel or not. Because online training for everyone is one of the few channels that provides you with the real answers. And now let's look at how you can organize and manage Microsoft Excel files and folders using OneDrive. To create new folder in OneDrive, you click on the New button and then select New Folder. Then you type in the name and click Create. And you see that the new folder shows up right here on the front page. Now, if you're not happy with the name, you can right-click on the folder and select Rename.
And you see my renamed folder is right here. It is called My Student Files. If you go inside this folder, it is obviously blank and empty. There's nothing in here. But what you can do now, you have a lot of new options here. You can create new subfolder. You can upload new documents. You can share this folder, move it to copy, rename, or create album from the folder, or embed it into the website. So what is the smart way to organize the data on your drive? One of the best ways, if you're a student, for example, is organized in a hierarchical structure. For example, what you see here is 4 tiers of the hierarchical structure: college, semester, courses, and lectures. For example, you might be taking classes at the technical college. You have 2 semesters, fall of 2020 and then spring of 2020. And then you have 2 courses in the fall of 2020, Introduction to Computing and Windows 10. And then for Introduction to Computing, you will have 2 lectures, one on September 2nd, and another lecture is on September 9th. In the spring of 2021, you only have 1 class, which is called Soft Skills, and you didn't have any lectures for this class yet, but you can already pre-build the structure for this class. How would you organize this data in OneDrive? First step is to create a top folder, which we will call Technical College. Now let me build the rest of the hierarchy, and you can see me doing it or skip to the next part. Because names of the lectures are very similar, I can just copy the name of the lecture. When I click Create, and when I create a new folder, I can just paste it and change only the lecture ID. So this would be Lecture 2. As you can see, when I'm building my structure, it is represented here as a hierarchy. It starts with My Files, then goes to Technical College, then goes to Fall 2020, and I'm currently in Introduction to Computing section, where I have 2 lectures. To navigate within this hierarchy, we just need to click on the particular folder, and it takes us back. To go inside the hierarchy, we just click on the folder itself, and it takes us inside. Now I build the structure. Let's see how we can use it to take advantage of all the features of OneDrive. Once you have the structure in place, you can navigate to the lecture for September 2nd and create a new file here. We will create a new Word document here and take notes from the lecture. To do that, you just click on the New and Word document. Once you click on the Word document, it takes you to the Word Online and starts a brand new Word document. As you can see, we can also create Excel, PowerPoint, OneNotes, Forms, Survey, or just a plain text document. And the coolest part of it is that it's all going to be created right in the cloud, which means that it will be accessible from any one of your devices. Now let's say you didn't have internet connection in your classroom, so you took notes during the lecture in the offline mode and saved the file right on your desktop. What you can do now, you can click Upload button, you will find that file that you created, and you will upload it into OneDrive. The coolest part of this is that you can upload not just single files, but also the entire folder. So you will be able to bring in and replicate the structure right from your desktop.
If you like the content, please give this video a big thumbs up. This tells us that you need more content like this, and we'll make sure that you get it in the future.
So what are the cool features of OneDrive you might benefit from? The biggest one, I think, is creation or editing of Microsoft Office documents for free. You don't need any additional license to start working on Microsoft Office documents in OneDrive. Another big one is accessing files on mobile devices. You don't just access files on your desktop, Mac or Windows. You can also download apps on your iPhone or Android device and access your files there. You also get free storage up to 5 gigabytes, and when you think about this, this is a lot of space. You can put a lot of Word documents, a lot of pictures into that free space, so you are ready to start using it for free at no additional cost to you. Because you can work on the Microsoft Office documents, you can also share and collaborate Microsoft Office files with others. If you're working on a student project with a group of people, you can create a document on OneDrive, share the link with people, and work together on the project. Let's look at how you can share the document and work together on the same document in OneDrive. To do that, let's click on the New button and create New Word document. So I created a new file and I picked the topic for my project: how to protect animals on the planet. Now I just need to give this document a name, and as a next step I can just click Share and send this document via email to another person. You get a confirmation that your email was sent, and you can now work together on the same document.
One of the coolest features of working together on OneDrive document is that you can see changes made by another person real time. For example, let's assume that I type my first paragraph on my paper, but now another person will be making the changes as well. So you see the changes that they've made, and you can see that who made the changes. The changes made are almost instantaneous. In this way, you don't even need sophisticated technology to work together. For example, you can talk on the phone and make changes to the document at the same time, and you will see changes real time.
Please consider subscribing to this channel. Skills that you learn here will be helpful for you now and also in the future. You also get opportunity to help other people by answering their questions and helping them solve their challenges. If you like the content, please give this video a big thumbs up. This tells us that you need more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.